Hi, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and this is Equal Entertainment. Sarah Silverman is suing OpenAI and Meta over copyright infringement. She says their chatbots were trained on one of her books without her permission. Two other authors, Christopher Golden and Richard Kadrey, have also joined the class action suit. Silverman, Golden, and Kadrey claim their books were used by the tech companies without consent, credit, or compensation. In June, a writers' advocacy group accused 6 tech firms of exploiting their work to train AI systems. The group says the companies are spending billions of dollars to develop AI. The group is demanding fair compensation. Madonna says she's on the road to recovery and hopes to resume her tour soon. Madonna spent some time in the ICU to treat a bacterial infection. She says she plans to resume her celebration tour in October rather than this month. Live Nation confirms all North American dates are postponed. Madonna says as soon as she woke up from her illness, she thought about her children. She says her second thought was about ticket holders and employees who have worked to put together her tour. Barbie and Oppenheimer are opening on the same day, and some movie fanatics are going to see both back-to-back. AMC Theaters says more than 20,000 AMC Stubs members purchased tickets to see both movies on the same day. On top of that, AMC saw a 33% increase in the number of guests buying tickets to watch both movies. The movies, whose storylines couldn't be more different, are being dubbed Barbenheimer. Barbie and Oppenheimer will open July 21st. Tom Holland is opening up about his journey to sobriety and his dependence on alcohol. He says he's reassessing his relationship with alcohol. The Crowded Room star told celebrity life coach Jay Shetty that he is addicted to alcohol and struggled to stay sober for a dry January earlier this year. He committed to staying sober for 6 months up to his birthday on June 1st. I wonder, I know you're a producer as well, but I wonder when you first heard of this project or, read about Danny on the page, what was it that really grabbed you at first?
I think just the challenge is what kind of really piqued my interest. The idea of playing a character that's as volatile as Danny, stepping foot into New York in the 70s, working with Akiva, stepping into my producer's shoes, for the second time, but definitely this was the biggest time I'd done so. So saying yes to this project was relatively easy.
I wonder if you would talk a little bit about some of the bigger themes of the project. It's touching on mental health, and an aspect of mental health that was really misunderstood even not that long ago. So would you talk about what it means to you to kind of shine a light on that?
I think it's really important. And, the Brothers Trust, my family foundation that we run, our biggest thing is shedding light on causes that don't necessarily get the light that they deserve. And I'm delighted that I found a way to kind of do that in my work. What this show is about and what we hope to achieve is to find a way to build more compassion for people that have mental health issues due to trauma. I think lots of people think that mental health issues is just something you're born with. It's just something that you have. And they don't understand that, it can come from external factors and it can come at any point in life. So hopefully this show is an accurate representation of how that can be. And hopefully it can serve as an education so that we can find some more sympathy in our hearts for people that have been through horrendous ordeals.
Yeah, wonderful. And then, it also touches on a little bit of generational trauma and, big topics like child sexual abuse, which, people didn't talk about back in the day. It happened a lot and people just didn't talk about it. And so would you just touch on that aspect as well, bringing that to light? I know you kind of touched on that, but the specific piece of it.
Well, it's obviously a very, very complicated subject. And I think what we would like to try and achieve from the show is that asking for help is a really brave thing to do. And it's something that should be celebrated. And if you are a young person who that is happening to, and you do feel like you need help, ask. At the end of the 6th episode and continually through the rest of the show, we have a link that would take you to a helpline, whether it's sexual abuse, physical abuse, substance abuse, or even just mental health. Asking for help, taking that first step in healing is such a brave thing to do. And it's something that we should celebrate. And I hope that this show can be a step in the right direction.
Holland is taking a brief break from acting after his latest project for Apple TV Plus, The Crowded Room. He told me it means a lot to him to shed light on the incredibly important topic of mental health. VJDA Music Man is drawing awareness to queerness, ethnicity, and mental health through music. Vaibhav Jagannath wants to show how beautiful Indian American culture is. He's hoping to elevate his community with his new album, Chaos on Canvas. Thank you. And you have a video out now for your song Uglies. And would you talk a little bit about this song that melds a few different styles and genres of music and is also a celebration of queerness and of Indian culture?
Absolutely, I'm happy to. So I ended up working on a song called Uglies. I wrote it last year around August, and it was more based off of my experience with dating in the queer community, just kind of laughing and joking around with my friends, talking about apps like Hinge and Bumble when they pair people together as the most compatible. My friends and I would just kind of laugh and be like, okay, well, what makes this guy think that he can get with me? But I love the beautiful kind of socio-political message that it's turned into, which, ends up being not just a platform for the South Indian diaspora to celebrate their heritage, but also me as a queer Indian person to be able to elevate that sector of my community. And I think putting it together with the co-director Shreya Navile was amazing because she ended up opening my eyes to how to put South Indian people on the map. We're very commonly brushed aside because everyone assumes that all of India falls under a Bollywood category, but the music that's expressed in Uglies is actually very unique and traditional to South Indian music. And so I love the fact that we melded South Indian beats with these aggressive rap lyrics. And I think that's what's made it such a fun summer jam for everyone. But the video kind of tackles why it is so important to take up that space because it allows us, as people now in this generation, to make it easier for people in the coming generations to be out and proud, to be not just about their sexuality, but about their ethnicity. And maybe one day a name like mine, Vaibhav Jagannath, which seems very, kind of intimidating at first, will be more common and,
Yeah.
less challenged.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. And I wanted to just ask you too, what does it mean to you to be someone of Indian descent who is also queer and, as you say, also American, who is repping for those communities of people who perhaps don't feel as though they're seen enough?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that at first it felt very, there was a lot of pressure that I was putting on myself because I think that I felt like a torchbearer on several ends, not just trying to bring South Indian heritage to the mainstream, but also, make it palatable to a community that's often not very friendly to queer stories. Now I kind of see it as in the reception of Uglies, there's been so many little kids, both like Indian and non-Indian, that have come up to me and said, thank you, because I've started to have conversations with my friends or in school about why my name is important, why I should bring, certain foods to school and not be afraid, why should I, dress a certain way. And I love that because it's affecting change. And that's kind of what has shifted my goal as well. I definitely want to be more focused on representing this group of people that is so vibrant. And we have such unique stories to tell. And I think that shifting my perspective away from the pressure and challenge of it has allowed me to appreciate it a lot more.
You can watch the Advocate channel live by downloading our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. For the Advocate channel, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and thank you for watching.